freelancing is a great gateway to earning an online income. And for people who are listening to this and who are wondering, maybe they've been in a position where they have been working on their business for a while, or a business idea, and it's just not moving forward quick enough. And they really feel like, listen, I want to generate an online income. I want to do this as quick as possible. You've really been grinding it out. You've really been trying to build this business or whatever it is you're trying to do. And it's just, you can't really figure it out. I really do recommend that you look into freelancing as a possibility, because even for myself, if you really think about it, the first successful business that really allowed me to quit my job was a business where I provided a service, right? So I was offering Facebook ads as a service, and providing a service online, right, which is essentially what freelancing is. When you provide a service online, allows you to generate an income without necessarily having any startup costs, right? So, Yusuf, for yourself, were there any costs for yourself associated with freelancing, or actually, what were the costs that were associated with starting up as a freelancer? Were there any costs for you? What can people expect?
Yeah, like the cost was absolutely nothing, and it wasn't even experience. So I didn't really need any previous experience. I did have my education, and it wasn't that I was clueless about what I'm doing. I had my portfolio and my education to back me up, but I didn't have any solid experience there.
Got it. And so how did you approach that for someone that didn't have experience to go and actually land the job? What was your approach like?
Yeah, so essentially your approach would be really focused on how you can bring value, and you can also try to penetrate the market with a lower price. You would essentially do your market research, and you would see the position you want, and you would see what's the average there. And then you can essentially drop your price a bit so you can land your first job. And once you have this first job, and once you get this first client, and once you get a good review from this client, if you do a good job, if you have the right mindset, if you have the right attitude, it's almost certain that you are going to get the job done, even if your technical skills are not amazing. So if you have the right mindset, you're surely to succeed. And of course, if you're lucky enough to get a decent client who's communicative with you, then it really just boils down to that.
Yeah, definitely. And really, to kind of add to that, because when I was looking at hiring for this role, and you were the first person that I hired in Ummahpreneur, so you were actually the first person to join the team. Actually, no, sorry. So that's a mistake. There was Katami before, but he left before you joined, and he was more of a temporary role to help us set up our email marketing sequences. So it was for a specific task, and then he was done. But you were the first permanent role to actually join the team. So you were the one that was that I hired with plans to actually have as a long-term partner in the company. And when I was looking to fill that role, to give you guys some advice, if you're thinking about freelancing, just like Yusuf said here, you don't necessarily need experience, but more importantly, what you're going to need is the right mindset. And one thing that really, stood out to me when I was looking at potential candidates, and I went through your application as well to see kind of, what your credentials were. I remember very well that you didn't have experience at that point in time, but what you did have was the right attitude. And what you also did have that is more important, that I think freelancers should pay attention to a little bit more, is you had an interest in the mission and the vision of the company. And I think that's really important, because when companies are looking to hire, if they're looking to hire someone long-term, now there are, of course, the exception to the rule. There are the companies that just want to hire for a specific task. They just care if you can do your job really well, and that's it. And in that case, you would probably need some experience or some credentials. But for someone like myself who's looking to hire someone that is actually going to be a partner in the business and not just a contractor or freelancer, even though you might consider yourself a freelancer and I consider you a partner in the business, what I'm looking for is someone who aligns with that mission and vision. Because when I want to grow Ummahpreneur, I want someone to come join me and say, oh, what are some different ways that we can grow this, right? Oh, here's a new idea that we can implement. Here's something new that we should be doing that we're not necessarily doing. And the truth is, it's only someone who actually cares about where we're going that's going to do that. If you don't care about that, you're going to do your job, you're going to clock in, clock out, and it's done. But when you care about what we're trying to do here, which in this case is helping nurture Muslim entrepreneurship, you're going to be more interested in bringing those ideas and trying to actually achieve that mission. And that's something that stood out for me, is that you actually showed an interest in the purpose behind Ummahpreneur. And I think that's such important advice for freelancers who want to get started and who want to apply to different jobs or careers or companies. Look at what the company is doing, see if it aligns with what you want to do, And if it does, then show them that you're actually interested in what they're doing and you're really excited to be part of it.